What up? Yeah. Okay.
All right. Oh my God. So many thoughts. Okay.
Brush my hair though.
I heard you blow drying it too.
Welcome to another episode of CO and Rome.
This is Yo.
And this is Rome, and this is episode number 86. Yeah, I do this thing now where I just kind of like quickly blow dry it while I'm brushing it, and it just kind of smooths out
Whatever might have
the
gotten
frizz
damped
situation.
while you were showering.
Just whatever frizz.
Oh, I would have done it because of the damp.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. If it's your first time, if you've been with us a while, thank you for returning. Before we get started, just have to put it out there that this is the best podcast of 2019.
Undisputed.
And if you want to dispute it, shoot us an email at coandrome@gmail.com. Also, if you want to get yourself some merch, head on over to afgoclothing.com. Get yourself a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, or a hoodie.
Yes, and we have a discount code for you guys. That is Zio and Rome15. That gets you 15% off. Cop you something, take a picture, tag us in it, let us shout you out.
How you doing?
Fabulous.
Great. Anything interesting?
Not really.
Well, I just want to announce that I was in the Avengers Endgame.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting, but that was just...
I was in it.
What? Oh, Lord, here we go.
We sat in the very first row of the 3D showing.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, actually.
I really felt like I was in the movie.
Did you see me reach out a couple times?
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be sitting in the first row.
Me either. Like, I definitely had to... I don't know. Were you leaned back as far as I was?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, for the whole movie, I definitely had to be leaned back. I had to kind of set myself up in certain angles at certain points. But other than that, I don't think it was like uncomfortable the way that I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was packed. It just came out this week. So, I mean, it's not surprising, but it was a good movie. I'm not going to get into it. No spoilers.
It was a great movie.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, we talked about this, if not last episode, the episode before that, but we've already discussed grocery delivery and why it's awesome. And this is not sponsored.
No.
These are just additional notes to go over things I didn't say before.
Okay.
So
You're
first
obsessed.
of all, another thing I like about grocery delivery is that you don't get distracted by all the other things in the grocery store. You just focus on what you need.
That's true.
Because when I go to the grocery store, I'll be like, ooh, that looks good. Or, oh, man, maybe I'll try that. Or, and I'm like all over the place sometimes.
Sometimes I like that, though.
Which is cool because then you learn about new things that are
Right,
out there.
right.
But I like that with this, like I can focus. And if I'm on a diet, it
It's
helps.
easier.
It helps to eliminate those distractions. Also, if you're a creative, I feel like the time that I save grocery shopping, I can now dump that into other things that are more important. And I have to admit, I'm not saying I'm more creative and more productive because of grocery delivery, but I feel like because I've taken a task off of my plate in terms of a responsibility of grocery shopping,
Allows you more time.
it does make me feel like, you know what? I don't have to do grocery shopping or any of that. Why don't I use this time more effectively and do something I actually want to do?
Right.
So I don't know. It's just something to think about. Like, if you're not doing it, give it a try. I'll holla at y'all if we get a promo code. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, at least try. At
Yeah.
least see how you like it and enjoy it, and it could be your thing.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I just want to jump straight into a topic.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I really enjoy this podcast. It's produced by Brother Chris Tufar on the Loudspeaker Network called Secret Keepers Club.
I love him.
Yeah, I love him. The hosts are Carly Aquilino.
Aquilino.
Carly Aquilino. She used to be on Girl Code.
Yes. It's funny.
Yeah. And then the other girl, her name is Emma Willman, if I'm not mistaken. Both stand-up comedians, both very funny ladies. I really, really love the podcast. And I try not to piggyback on what other podcasts are doing, but this question was really, really good. So What advice would you offer? And I'm just rewording the question.
Okay.
What advice would you offer someone who can't keep friends? No matter what this girl tries to do, no one likes to stay friends with her. She puts so much into the friendships. She tries to do all these nice things to keep friends, but no matter what, she can't keep friends.
I think that sounds like self-reflection is due. I think that she needs to, because it can't be everyone else, right? There has to be some sort of common denominator in the situation, and clearly that common denominator is her if everyone chooses not to continue a friendship with her. So she probably needs to kind of self-reflect and see what it may be that she is doing that is forcing these people to no longer want to be her friend. Maybe she's trying too hard. Sometimes that is a thing. If you try too hard to be someone's friend, they're just kind of like, this is weird. If it doesn't flow, that may be things that push some people away.
Dude, I'm so glad I asked the question and allowed you to answer before I answered.
Okay.
Because I'm going to literally verbatim read
what she said,
my notes on what I think the problem is.
Okay.
This just goes to show how we think a lot alike, which it's not so much like we think alike. I think that we're just at a
common sense.
We have common sense.
Right.
We're at a certain age where we know what's up. You know what I mean? We've lived
out here.
This isn't our first time at the rodeo.
Right.
Okay. So I used to be that girl. Do you think that you may be obnoxious or annoying? Maybe you're not aware of it. Do you stink? I know you didn't say anything like that. Do you violate loyalty? I feel that you should just relax, have fun, stop trying so hard. People can sense that desperation. Just be yourself and a good friend during the moments that count. Also remember that everything is not for everybody and that it's impossible to be everyone's cup of tea. Know your audience. And I also am of the thought that if you're the common denominator, it can't be everyone else. So you do have to take a look at what role you're playing in this. My thing is, like, I'm not trying to tell you to change who you are and how you go about things, but what I am going to say is that if having friendships is something super, super important to you, that perhaps it's worth just doing some self-reflection and some tweaking if you feel like you may have some of these issues.
So technically we answered the same way.
I mean, technically,
yes.
I think hearing it from two different people, though, can make you feel like, you know what? If I'm hearing the same thing from more than one person, there might be some truth to it.
Yeah. And I like what you said as far as knowing your audience, because I think that that's super important. Some people can feel very uptight and feel like they only want to share goofy moments, or sometimes they may feel like they only want to share intellectual moments, and sometimes your audience doesn't call for that. So it's understanding the dynamics in which you find yourself in and to behave accordingly.
Of course. What do you have over there?
A lot of my shit is relationship based, whether it's friendship or romantic, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump into that, aren't we?
All right.
All right. So if you're in a current relationship with someone whose ex is being somewhat disrespectful to you, is it your place to check the ex or your current partner's responsibility?
If your current partner's ex is being disrespectful, you want to know if it's okay to check them directly or to ask your partner to check their ex.
Is it your responsibility to check the ex, or is it your partner's responsibility to check that person?
Wow. Man, I hate to complicate something so simple, but I have
Because this
to.
actually is very simple.
I have to complicate it a little bit.
All right.
It's your responsibility to make sure you're being respected.
Okay. And how would you do that?
And I think that it's case by case, meaning I think a conversation should be had with you and your partner where you're making your partner aware, your ex is bugging.
Right.
Right? And I think that it might be best for you to have a conversation with your ex before I do, because if I do, it's not going to be a nice situation. And I'm an extension of you at this point, and I just want to make sure that I don't just go about it my own way, and the next thing you know, you're getting upset with me when you catch wind of it or whatever. Or I also want to handle this in a way that's acceptable to you as my partner, because the last thing I want to do in the process of demanding respect from someone is to do something that's going to upset you, or to do something that you may feel is disrespectful, because then it defeats the whole purpose, right?
Or cause a rift between you and I.
Exactly. So my thing is like, always check in with the ex first. Follow whatever your ex feels.
No, partner.
Follow whatever your current partner feels most comfortable with, and just say, hey, listen, we're going to roll with your game plan, but if the behavior continues, this will call for me addressing it directly. And then what happens at that point, it's going to be on my control, but one thing's for sure, I'm not going to allow it.
Right.
I also feel that, to add a little bonus to the question, if this is just a disrespectful person, and regardless if you or your partner talks to them, they're still going to be a disrespectful person, find methods to just block the person out of your line of sight, line of, ear, line of hearing, whatever. If it gets to the point where people are stepping to you with shit, even though you've blocked them on all social media, blocked their phone number, and all that shit, then that's grounds for a beatdown.
I agree somewhat. I feel like I'm in the same wavelength of you as what you're saying. I think that if you come to your current partner saying, hey, I don't necessarily feel too, comfortable with how certain things are being played out from this specific person, it is up to them to address the person, however they choose to do so, whether it's in a nice manner, whether it's in a stop playing aggressive manner, however they deem worthy. But I need them to also understand that however you chose to approach it, I allowed you to take it upon yourself to do so with my respect, to not have to do so myself. And when I choose to do so, if that disrespect continues, it's not going to be nice. I think that there should always be like a good way and a bad way, because sometimes people don't understand the good way. So if you chose the good way of telling someone chill the fuck out, I have every right afterwards to not be so nice.
I hate to to dissect your words in the way that I'm about to.
Okay.
But you just said to your partner, I allowed you, right? I think that when we ask our partner to address it, it's actually asking them to do us a favor. Like, I'm asking you to do me a favor. And then 2, I'm also involving you because I don't want you to be upset.
I agree. I'm perhaps allowed was the wrong verbiage. However,
because I don't want to come off aggressive to my partner.
No, I understand.
You'll check your ex, or I'm gonna check it, and I
meant more like allowed in like however you see it fit to check this person. Like, I'm not going to question you. I'm not going to say no, you shouldn't do it that way. You should do it this way, or anything along those lines. I'm going to allow. Wrong verbiage again. I'm going to let you
That's the problem.
I'm going to let you choose whatever way you want to address this person. You handle it the way you see accordingly. But understand that moving forward, if the disrespect continues, then I'm also going to choose whatever I see is worthy of telling that person something.
This is very alpha of you. I feel that we would get the same result, but I feel that your approach is like way more aggressive.
Yeah.
Your approach is way more aggressive, because mine is like this. Like, listen, I would prefer to handle this heads up myself, because I have no problem addressing her. But the whole reason I'm having a one-on-one conversation with you is because I don't want to offend or upset you. That's the only reason why.
Let's say that you handle it that way, right? And the person that you're currently in a relationship with addresses the ex. And the disrespect continues. You don't think that you're going to be aggressive moving forward?
What I think I'm going to say to my partner is like, now I have a question for you. If after you have the conversation with your ex, if that's what he chooses to do, I'm going to be like, if you have the conversation with your ex and that doesn't work out, are you okay if I address it directly? Because that's what I plan to do. I just want to make sure you're okay with my game plan. Like, you're okay with that.
So to dissect your words, you don't want to give someone else permission, but you want to get permission from someone else?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Because it's my issue. So it's like I'm pulling you into my issue and I'm allowing you to participate. Like you're pulling your ex into it.
No, they're not being pulled into.
Sorry, you're pulling your current partner into.
But they're very much a part of the issue. If it's their ex, I wouldn't know this person any other way if they weren't affiliated to you directly.
Yeah, but they have no control over how one human being is treating
which
another.
is why I'm giving you the opportunity to handle that accordingly. And if that person chooses to go beyond the conversation and that you guys had and continue to be disrespectful, I'm not going to play the nice card that you chose to play to begin with.
I understand. Just responding to the dissection, I do feel that my responsibility is to honor and respect my partner. So my thing is, the last thing I want is to upset you.
So wouldn't she or he be upset just about the fact that you're being disrespected?
They should be.
They should be.
They should be, which is a totally separate issue. But the thing about me asking the permission is just my way of honoring and respecting my partner. Ultimately, I'm going to be real with you. If I step to my partner and my partner says, you know what? I think it's a better idea that neither I address it, you address it. We just find ways to block and ignore this bitch. Let's try that. Let's just, because she's not important. How about we both just block and ignore? And if somehow it escalates, then I'll handle it. I'll be like, you know what? I'll roll with that plan too.
I want to call bullshit on you so bad. I feel like you are such the person that be like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad if this person says some shit again to me.
I think I've been in a situation before.
With an ex?
Maybe someone that's been involved with my partner. I've been in a situation and you know, my partner at the time was just like, just ignore it. It's not even worth it. Like, I've been given that advice a lot of times, and it just made my blood boil because I am so about being confrontational, being about that life, letting niggas know, like, I'm not the one you want to fuck with. But I just think that I was with a partner that was not confrontational, and I learned that sometimes it's not worth the confrontation at all. It's if you can block and ignore. And you know what? That's another thing I should be thankful from my previous relationship. You know, even though I've expressed like my anger towards it and things like that, I did learn that not everything's worth a confrontation. And I think even in one-on-one issues that I have now, I've had situations where I've just blocked and ignored someone who's addressed me directly and not turned it into an argument or felt the need to address it. You know, someone actually came to me very disrespectfully in a direct message on Facebook recently. They basically were like, oh, single women who have been recently divorced and who are boring as fuck are the devil.
That's what their message said?
That they came to me directly because I wasn't being responsive or I wasn't entertaining them approaching me. But they decided to find me on Facebook. Okay, they found me on Facebook so they can send me this very mean message after I blocked them on another platform. I read it and I stared at it for like 5 seconds because that thing inside of me wanted to check them and be like, first of all, you're not going to come and disrespect me and bop, bop, bop. But I was like, you know what? They're not worth it.
See, but
I just blocked and deleted them.
See, but my thing is that, like, although I understand what you're saying, I think that my level of quote unquote confrontational and yours may be a little bit different, where you may step to someone and be like, yo, you're not going to be disrespecting me, blah, 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 whatever. I'm the type of bitch that will step to someone, let's say that it's the ex that I hear is saying all these types of things about me. I'm the type of bitch that will step to me like, yo, I heard that you were saying this and this and that. Do you want to say that to my face since now I'm here? And if they don't feel the need or the balls to say it to my face, then I know you're pussy and there's no more reason for us to have a conversation. Now, if you feel gully and you do say it to my face, that's a whole nother storyline. But that's how I would address it. I'd be like, yo, I heard da-da-da-da, whatever. Is that true? And if so, can you please address it to me directly? If they're like, no, I'm like, all right, that's it. There's no more of even having conversation about it. And anything I hear moving forward, I don't give a fuck about because of the fact that I know you're not worthy of saying it to my face. So I'm gonna just let it rock.
I just understand that you and I may respond differently, but I think that saying nothing is pretty fucking dope. Like, when you really don't give a fuck, when I'm really like, you know what? The shit the bitch is saying is untrue anyway.
Right.
Like, it's pathetic that she's even talking about me. she's an ex for a reason. The bitch is just mad. I feel like that's some boss ass shit when you're like, I don't even need to address this bitch, but if I see her, if I'm out and about and I just so happen to see her,
I'm not looking for you.
Yeah, but my thing is like, I might make my current partner aware of what the fuck's going on, but like, I don't really gotta say shit to a peasant.
Oh, okay.
I ain't gotta say shit to a peasant. I'm a queen. Hello. What we talking about?
Obviously nothing.
What we talking about?
Obviously nothing.
But if you want to talk, we can talk.
They ain't gonna talk.
But like, come on. Fuck these bitches.
Okay.
Good topic. Good topic. Okay. So, I know yours are all in the line of relationships, friendships and stuff like that. I have a bunch of other random type of topics. So as co-producer of the show, do you feel it's best that we keep the relationship going, like the relationship topics going, or do you want me to bring up some of this random stuff?
Go ahead, bring up some random shit.
All right, this is so fucking random. Do fit women who work out hard in the gym to maintain their image of attractiveness get low-key mad when they see bigger women, fluffy women such as myself, like out here feeling confident, sexy, eating whatever the fuck they want? Like, if you're like the gym rat that's eating salad, and in your head you might have a little bit of low self-esteem, or you may be super self-conscious that you're like, oh my gosh, I have to stay on top of this because I want to wear a bikini, or I have this event and blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, you just get out the gym and then you're like, okay, I see this big girl at the beach wearing a bikini, eating an Italian sausage with all the fixings, and she out here living her best life, feeling good about herself. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get to the point of feeling good about myself, doing all this work, and this bitch ain't doing shit but just living. Like, do you think that chick feels a little low-key mad?
I think she may be a little low-key mad about the fact that she doesn't own the same confidence that the bigger girl does, but I think that she also will mask that by talking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I wish that I was that confident. I actually wish that I can just parade myself around here the way this person can. And I'm at the fittest that I've ever been because I'm such a big gym rat, but I don't feel comfortable doing so. So they'll mask it by like, oh my God, do you see what that girl is wearing? What the fuck? I would never.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of, that goes hand in hand.
Yeah. I feel like there's some real bitches out here that are very self-aware, that are like, you know what? Yeah, I'm a gym rat and this is what I do to feel good about myself, but I'm not going to knock the next bitch. Like, I wish I had that self-confidence.
Facts.
I'm not on that level. I wish I had it, and you go girl and all that.
Right.
But then I feel that there are other women that misdirect those sentiments, and they get mad at the big girl and they're critical of the big girl. Because they're like, if I'm not critical of the big girl, then I can't in my head support I can't
everything
stand
that
by
I'm
all
doing.
these reasons. In my head, I tell myself that if I gain 5 pounds, I'm a fat ass. And if I
Right.
think that about myself, then I have to think that everyone bigger than me is a fat ass.
Correct.
I have to lie to myself and tell myself, if I don't eat salads every day, I'm going to be a fat slob, which means that if I see someone who doesn't eat salads every day, that they're a fat slob too. And I just feel like this harsh criticism that we can put on other people is to support our own view of ourselves. And I feel like I really don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of me. I just find it a little funny sometimes when I see people looking at me a certain way. I just want to say, for the record, just in case anyone's confused, I'm too old to be worrying about what anyone thinks about me. And when I see young women that have self-confidence and they get it before they get old and tired like me, like, bravo to you.
Yes.
Man, I still admire people who are fit, that are athletic and all that. And I think it's a great thing. And it always gives me something to strive for one day. If I get bored as fuck and I'm like, hey, it's time for me to self-improve, why don't I try this fit shit? Like, it's nice that it'll always be an opportunity for growth for me. But I'd be looking at, man, this falls in line with what you were saying about like or what I was saying actually about the ex. People will make up lies just so they can feel good about themselves or feel good about a situation, or so they can justify how they're feeling. The ex might be mad at the new bitch because you got something they had, and maybe they lack closure and all this shit. So they got to stir the pot to support all these emotions that they're hoarding. And I'm just letting you know, like, when you can grow to a place in life where you can look at negativity and realize that niggas really don't got a problem with you. They got a problem with themselves. And they got to have this beef to support and justify their bullshit.
That's actually really, really, really good point. I think that when you have issues within yourself, you do, in fact, create issues with other people to kind of justify the way that you are feeling,
to justify the behaviors.
Yes,
to just because
the feelings, everything.
Some feelings are wrong and invalid and are created, but listen, like the actual emotion
the
that's
core
inside of you, the core is very real,
Mm-hmm.
and you're entitled to feel how you want to feel. But when thoughts and emotions start to intersect, that's when things can get kind of convoluted and misinterpreted, even within ourselves, and start to project behaviors that are just fucking crazy, like the lying. Like, let's be real. Why do people lie? Because they're not comfortable with the truth.
Right.
And sometimes people don't even know what the truth is.
Yeah.
So the lie is in the place of the truth.
Or like there's like the pathological liars that believe their own lies. And sometimes it's because their lies are so much more exciting than the actual lives that they're living.
Yeah.
You know,
psychology can get a little boring, so I'm not gonna continue to harp on this, but this is some deep shit.
No, it really is.
This is some deep shit.
I think that everyone needs to be aware of themselves as well to be able to dissect that.
So when you see my fat ass eating a fucking
Portobello's, is that what it's called?
Portillo's Italian sausage, like, and you mad and you critical and you can't believe I'm doing it, just know you have some unpacking to do, and I hope you get there, beloved.
Oh, wow. I see what you did there. Moving along. All right. So we talked about this a little bit on our 19-year friendship video.
Yes, 19 years of friendship.
19 years of friendship. And
check
I want to
us out on Instagram.
Dissect that a little bit more. How important is communication in all relationships, whether it be friends or lovers, and can it ultimately be the demise of that relationship?
It can be. Communication is extremely important. Not so much saying what's on your mind, saying what's on your heart, but also the listening piece. And sometimes people overly communicate and repeat themselves a lot. I know that I do that a lot. But sometimes it might be because I don't remember if I said something or didn't say it. But a bad habit is when you're repeating yourself because you're so desperate for someone to agree with you.
Or to change their answer.
So you're fucking forcing it. Mm-hmm. You're forcing it. Mm-hmm. You're boofing it. You know? I just feel like that's annoying. It's unfair. You're only concerned about what you have to say in your point, and you don't really care too much about what the other person has to say. I feel that communication is one thing, but I feel like growth goes hand in hand with it, because you have to be mature enough to know that even if you guys don't get on the same page 100%, like, I'm willing to accept 75% of us being on the same page. And maybe through another experience, we can get the other 25%. Maybe if I let the journey kind of play itself out, maybe the 25% will come later. But as long as the fundamentals of the friendship, like respecting each other, are still there, even if we don't meet eye to eye 100% on the issue at hand, I'm okay with that, because I know we honor each other. I know we love each other and we respect each other enough to where we can move forward, and at least you get the bulk and the gist of what I'm seeing, and you're not going to get it 100% of the time.
Yeah, I think that's important. And you said something that I wanted to kind of like piggyback off of. communication is very, very important. It's very important to be honest with each other about all things. However, what you stated was that communication is also important by being aware of what you're saying. Sometimes we may say things in and deliver it in the way that is not okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm guilty of that all the time.
So your intentions of what you want to communicate may be very, very good. However, just because you want things to be a certain type of way and you may say something very harshly, mm-hmm. and the person who you're saying that to is going to be like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, why did you just say that? Like, that didn't have there was no need for that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important to be aware of how you deliver what you're trying to communicate as well.
So first of all, without getting too mushy, mm-hmm. I just want to thank you as a friend, because I know I struggle with that.
Oh my God, stop right now.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I know sometimes when I'm angry, like I can be really, really mean.
Stop.
I'm sorry. No, and I'm just thankful that as a friend that like you know my heart and you know my intentions are not to hurt your feelings.
Right.
And you're also just, you always take a moment to just realize like, okay, she's just really mad right now.
Right.
And yeah, I am taken aback by the way she's talking to me, but I know that that's
not what she's meaning at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you.
No problem.
That.
Stop crying because you're going to make me lose my shit.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yes. So
no, I just feel like in that moment, I know you're not talking to me.
I wasn't.
But the message is,
hit you.
It's speaking to me.
The word.
Because I am like, because you've called me out on it, mm-hmm. which I'm also thankful that we have a friendship to where you can call me out on my shit, mm-hmm. whether I agree with it or not. But you calling me out on it gives me the opportunity to be more aware of that. And because I want to be a good friend to you, I make the effort to get a handle on that.
Yeah.
And while I'm not 100% of the time on it and I still fuck up, mm-hmm. like, it's important that I find a way to communicate with you without having to be rude, disrespectful, or mean, because it doesn't have to get to that level.
But I think it's important that even if you, which you're really good at, even if you don't see it at that very moment, mm-hmm. once you have a second to digest everything that took place, you are very accountable of your own actions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't deny it. And I say,
exactly.
Oh, get over it. You're just
like,
being
that's
sensitive.
Not the way. Exactly.
It's
like,
not
you're just
that
like,
serious.
Well, you know what? Let me just take a moment. Let me figure out maybe how I came off so that we can address it at a later time, which I think is really important. Sometimes a lot of people don't think about this, but sometimes you're not going to get the answers to a disagreement right then and there. And most times people will be like, especially in relationships, they're like, we need to figure this out. No, sometimes you just need a moment because mm-hmm. you can't figure out the answer while you're stuck in the situation. Mm-hmm. You need a second to, digest everything that took place, internalize it, and be like, how could I have handled this differently? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's where true intelligence comes from.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially for people like myself who are very comfortable being mean.
Yeah.
There are people out there that are like, they don't have a mean bone in their body and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so mean. I could never say something like that. I am so comfortable with being mean mm-hmm. if I have to. Mm-hmm. I'm so comfortable spitting out whatever's on my mind
with I feel filter.
If I feel like it's important for someone to understand what I'm thinking in that moment. And I'm very aware that, wow, this may come off mean, but
I don't care.
It's not that I don't care about that person. Mm-hmm. It's that it's so important that this person understands how upset I am. And I don't know any other way for this person to understand how upset I am other than just giving them that pure, raw thought of what's going on in my mind right now. Like, it's important for them to know how upset I am.
Yeah.
And it's not like saying to them like, your mother's an asshole, you piece of shit. I'm not pulling shit out of my ass to be mean, but it's like, wow, I really have to let this out type of thing. Mm-hmm. And if you're that type of person that you're like, I don't care if this comes off mean, but I'm just going to say it. Just understand that sometimes it's not worth being mean. Challenge yourself to try to find other ways to express yourself.
You know what's so crazy?
But if you do it in a mean way and you backpedal and you do get the feedback and find out that, hey, there was a better way I could have done that, take that moment to be like, you know what? I could have done that better. let's have a do-over.
Yeah.
Let me try to re-express that in a different way. And it's like practice. You know, it's like practice, and don't be ashamed in practicing.
There should be no shame. I think that there should be no shame in growth. One thing that I can definitely say off of what you're stating right now is that I used to be that way, especially like my high school, early 20s. I did not give a fuck about what came out of my mouth. As long as I was expressing how I felt, I didn't care how you took it. I think it came to the point when I was on the other end of it that allowed me to kind of think about being more tactful with my delivery. So I can still get across how I feel without making you feel less than. If that makes any sense. Like I can say to you, this and this is how you made me feel by doing this and this, without saying you're a fucking asshole for saying this and making me feel this way, because I would never do you that way. I can still say that same exact thing in a completely different way.
And you know what? Like, I know I just went through this whole rant of saying like how I don't care what people think about me. I don't care if people have negative feelings or thoughts about me that are really not justified and have nothing to do with me. Like, that's none of my business.
Because it's not true.
But in terms of the impression that I leave on people, which I have control over, I do think that I do care about the way that
you're viewed in that way.
That I'm viewed. I care about what I'm putting out there and the legitimate, actual essence of who I am. I care about the way I'm perceived in that way. And it's my goal for people to perceive me in a way that's very much in line with what I'm trying to project. I'm a happy person if you are picking up what I'm putting down, right? But if you're picking up things that are different than who I actually am, then I'm like, okay, maybe it's the way that I'm doing things. So with that said, I try to be more mindful of the way in which I'm doing things, because I want to make sure that people are picking up the true essence of who I am as a person. And I feel that if I do take the time to properly communicate with people, that people are going to sense that intelligence. People are going to sense that kindness. People are going to sense that love that's very much in alignment with who I am. So when you're mean and you're nasty, it completely overshadows all those positive qualities of who you are. So if you do care about people really getting to know you for who you are, then you should care about taking the time out to properly communicate, especially in difficult situations, because how you handle difficult situations
says a lot about you.
It's going to say a lot about who you are and your character.
I agree. What you got?
So, another rando. I don't even know what it is yet. Okay. This is about Uber.
Okay.
So, if you're doing Uber Eats or if someone's picking you up in an Uber.
Okay.
If someone different is delivering your food, or if someone different picks you up, like it's a different person than that's actual in the photo. So it says Amy's delivering your food or Amy's picking you up. But Bob shows up at your door. Are you upset about it? 1. Are you tipping? 2. And are you snitching? 3.
I am definitely upset about it. I probably will tip because my food was still delivered, but nowhere near what I would have tipped if Amy would have delivered instead of Bob. And I'm not snitching because I'm no snitch. Because sometimes shit comes up and Amy couldn't make it, so she sent Bob, and Bob had to deliver my food. And ultimately, Bob still delivered my food, which is what I wanted.
What about picking you up to go to the airport?
Honestly,
Bob shows up instead of Amy.
If it's Uber Eats, then I'm going to be upset. I'm going to not tip as much as I would have, and I won't snitch. If it is my personal self getting in a vehicle to a specific destination, I'm not getting in the vehicle. Sorry. Okay. Like, I'm expecting Amy to show up. Amy's not showing up.
You're running late for your flight.
I don't care.
Okay.
Sorry. My safety is more important to me than me getting to New York City in 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever the case may be. Like, I'm just not. So many things can go wrong that I'm not even aware of. I'm going to be like, listen here, buddy. Where's Amy? And Bob is like, oh, Amy sent me because XYZ. And I'm going to be like, well, you might want to either send for another Uber for me, or I'm going to let them know that Amy was not the one to pick me up. Like, I refuse.
Well, what if they're like, you call another Uber?
Okay, refund me my money.
You're not going to get charged because the ride didn't happen.
Okay, well, then I'm calling another fucking Uber.
Okay. So,
Are you snitching?
Yes, I am. I'm going to tell you why, though. First of all, I was pissed because I did Uber Eats and Bob did show up instead of Amy.
Oh
I don't know if their names were Bob and Amy.
But you're just giving a reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was upset because this isn't the first time that this has happened to me. This has actually happened to me with pickups. And for the reason that you described about safety, I don't know who the fuck is driving this car. And I'm pissed because it said Francesca was picking me up, but her quote unquote husband, Bob, picked me up. And God forbid that he's a fucking psycho.
Right.
Now he knows where I live. And now I'm in a car with him if I'm stupid enough to get in a car with him, which I did. Because I was in a rush and I'm like, you motherfuckers.
But ultimately, if something happens to you, they're going to be looking for Francesca. They're going to have no idea that it was Bob.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah. You fucking Uber drivers. Sorry, this is turning into a rant. You need to stop this shit. Okay, I know you don't think it's a big deal because you know your intentions are like, this is just my boyfriend or this is just my husband and this is how we make extra money. Well, you know what? Tell your boyfriend and your husband to go through the same process that you did and to create their own profile. And if they can't do it because they've had too many traffic violations or because their vehicle's not up to code or because you share a car and your car's already on file, well, too fucking bad. We're talking about people's lives in your hands, okay? You have to stop. Now, as for the food, I'm going to tell you why at first I thought I was being petty, but now I don't feel so petty.
All right.
Because I still got, what did I order? I still got my Philly cheesesteak and everything's fine. But Bob came to the door and delivered it to me and I was kind of in my pajamas or whatever. Now, what if Bob saw me through the crack of the door while he was passing me the food and he's like, yo, let's say he's a child predator or he's a sex offender or whatever the fuck he is. And he decides to come back to my house later on that night and do some crazy psycho stalker shit because he liked what he saw when he opened up the door to give me my fucking food. Mm-hmm. Now, how do I go to report him? Crazy psycho guy just delivered a fucking Philly cheesesteak earlier today. And they're like, we have no record of crazy stalker guy. We have Amy. And then now they have to jump through hoops, hit up Amy, be like, who's the guy that delivered instead of you? And bop, 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 bop. This is still our safety. Like, people are finding out where you live.
Yeah.
We hear about shit that happens crazy with intruders and things. These people are coming to your house. Yes, they're coming with delicious food, but they're still coming to your house. Respect. Like, it's a respect thing. I want to know who's coming to my house with the food.
So, okay, alternate.
So I'm not tipping you fucking bitch because you didn't show up. I'll tip the person. I didn't see you, okay? And I'm snitching because not only do I care about myself, but I care about other people. The next person, if I don't get hurt, what if 3 months from now, because you went undetected all this time, that your boyfriend or your husband decides to do some crazy shit? And I'm not just focusing on men. I'm just saying this has been the experience I've had. And because I didn't snitch, you've been allowed to continue to do this, and then someone else gets hurt.
Okay, devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Amy is the Uber driver that normally either picks you up or delivers your food. However, Amy and Bob both have 3 kids. Mm-hmm. One of their kids is extremely sick right now. She's on Uber, but the baby wants her to stay home with her while she takes care of her. But she needs to make this money. Mm-hmm. Bob is like, don't worry about it, honey. Stay with the baby. Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead and take care of the Uber. Now you snitch Bob out or Amy. Now they no longer can participate with Uber. Mm-hmm. You still are okay with that?
Yes. You should follow the rules.
Okay, got it.
And the guidelines as a driver for Uber. That's the reason why they upload your photo to the app in the first place, okay? He should have his own fucking profile. And if you care about feeding your child, then don't do anything to risk you getting canceled. Like, if you really care, then do things the right way. Like, are you not concerned that you may throw off the person who's receiving the fucking Italian sausage? Like, you're only caring about yourself. Like, You have to realize that
Or
there are
your child.
patrons. Yeah, but my thing is, like, if you're only going to care about yourself and your child, then you're not going to take into the consideration that you're
So if they
serving
would have
patrons.
messaged you once the delivery took place, and because they have the contact thing where they can message you, if they would have messaged you and say, hey, listen, I just want to make you aware, my husband Bob is the one that's going to be making the delivery. I unfortunately couldn't make it. I do apologize. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Would you have been okay with that?
No, I still have a problem. And here's the thing, and I don't know if it's because I've driven for Uber back in the day, but you have the option to turn the service off and on. And whether you and Bob could do it or not, I know that if you wouldn't have picked up my sausage, someone else who follows the rules probably would have picked up my sausage. But because you accepted it, now you basically cock blocked my opportunity to get a legitimate Uber driver to deliver my shit. And instead I got some fraudulent Uber drivers instead because you decided to cut into the system. And now you took money out of someone else's pocket that's actually following the rules. You know what I'm saying? You're the faulty cog in the whole system, and I'm sick of you motherfuckers.
Wow, you're upset.
I'm not mad, but I'm just saying, like, I don't like people I don't know coming to my house. I feel at least some comfort because Uber gives me a name and a photo, and I know they have record of your shit if shit goes down. So when a stranger rolls up to my cribbo, like, after they told me,
You feel some type of way.
Yeah, I feel some type of way.
Got it.
What you got?
Last one. And this is a 2-part question. All right. So, first part of this question is, do you think it's wrong for your friends to wait, I might have worded this wrong. Do you think it's wrong for your friends to... Okay. Do you think it's wrong for your friends to not dislike the same people that you dislike?
So basically what you're saying is if I'm mad with Bob,
right,
my best friend should be mad with Bob too. But if I find out that my best friend is cool as fuck with Bob, knowing that I can't stand Bob, do I look at my best friend and I'm like, you're wrong?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
You know, this whole ride or die thing, sometimes people take it too far.
Okay.
If I have a very specific issue with Bob, okay, but my friends have gotten to know Bob too, and they're cool with Bob, but I have a very specific one-on-one issue with Bob, and my friends are still cool with Bob, I'm okay with that.
You're not feeling no type of way.
No.
Me either.
Now, if my friend and Bob get together and they're having
talking
conversations
shit about
me,
yeah, that's different.
whether it's talking shit or not, like, even if my friend's not doing the shit talking, but CO, if you are kicking it with Bob and every time you kick it with Bob brings me up and he's talking shit, as a friend, I would expect you to be like, listen, Bob, you're cool as fuck. Rome doesn't have a problem with us being friends, but I'm just going to kindly request that when we get together, that we just don't talk about her. You know, clearly you have some issues. I want to encourage you guys to maybe have a conversation. Maybe you can become friends again. But if both of you know up front that you have no intentions on becoming friends, then like, please, like, just don't talk about her. I would hope as my friend, you could at least do that.
I am on the same exact page with that.
I'm not mad at you if you try to facilitate something, unless I very clearly tell you, like, please don't try to bring us together. Please stay out of it. Please, whatever. But if Bob is going to pick you up and be like, hey, we're going to the bar or whatever, like, I'm supportive of that. As long as I know there's no bad, wacky, disrespectful shit going on, I'm cool with it. Now, if I got beef with Bob and you and Bob were just acquaintances at the time that we had beef, but I see that you are going hard to try to develop a budding friendship with Bob after me and Bob had a big falling out, I start to question you a little bit. Like, you know, Bob's a fuck boy.
You clearly saw it for yourself.
Why out of all the people you could be friends with, you're deciding to try to strike up a friendship with someone that clearly has hurt me or disrespect me. I'm like, of all fucking people, like, my nigga, like,
Yeah.
why are you sucking Bob's dick so much?
All them
Not
nasty-
literally, but figuratively.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I might feel a little weird about it, but still, by all means, I'm not going to try to police your friendships.
It's not my place to ever tell anyone who they can and cannot be friends with, regardless of how I feel about the situation. I think that if you are aware that I dislike someone, but you are like already on that friendship vibe with them, who am I to tell you you need to stop your friendship with them? That makes no sense to me. I think to kind of agree with what you're saying is that as long as you're not sitting around talking shit about me, that's all that matters to me. Or if that person wants to bring me up, kind of stop it and be like, listen, I don't agree with what you're saying, and honestly, I don't feel comfortable with having this type of conversation.
And I'm okay if you don't even stop it. Like, I'm okay if you participate in the conversation the first and second time. If you're like, let's just bring it full circle. I know you're pissed with Rome because you guys got into it. She said some really mean things. I'm her best friend. Sometimes we get into conversations and she says really mean things to me too. So I get it. I get it, Bob. But just no one understand that there's her side of it too. And there may be some things that you're not picking up from her side, blah, 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 blah. Like, if you try to have a constructive, fair conversation with Bob about me, I'm okay about it as long as it's honest and fair. But if it's going on and on and on and you already gave your two sides to it or whatever, and then at this point you're like, you know what, like, this can't continue. If you stop it at some point, like, that's what I would expect.
Yeah, and I think it's also important.
I think it's unrealistic for me to say, like, don't ever talk about me.
Yeah,
just be fair,
honest,
and honest.
Yeah,
you are going to do
and
it.
I think that it's important to also be cognizant of the fact that if Bob is continuously having these types of conversations around you, and whether you stop it or allow it, it's also very important to bring that back to your friend, not to stir up issues, but just to let them be in the know of, like, listen, I just want you to know your name did come up. Listen, sometimes the cities that you grow up with or currently live in are fucking small, and you don't know who was listening on the other side of the bar. And I don't want to ever be in the position where someone heard that shit and comes back to you with some faulty ass information, rather than you hearing it directly
Bob,
from me.
or you're hearing it from Bob, the person you don't
Exactly.
like. Yeah.
Then that's completely like you would look like an asshole.
And I just want to say, I guess this is a question. If you're having conversations with Bob about me and you do say, you know what, Bob, I completely feel you. Rome can be mean sometimes when she's really upset.
That's nothing that I wouldn't say to you, though.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't classify that as you talking shit
Me
if
either.
it's true.
Right. If I
Whether
say
you say it to me or not, but if it's just true, like, how can I get mad at you about you just stating facts out here?
I think it's about being mature. I think it's having that maturity and understanding that sometimes you're not going to have your friends be friends with people that you're friends with, or dislike the people that you dislike. Everyone is their own person. And as long as that loyalty and honesty is amongst each other and you are aware of that, then nothing can falter that. Nothing can take that away from it.
Just try to be honest and keep it a buck. Things are going to get weird and nasty and awkward sometimes, but just try to hold yourself accountable for handling it the right way, in the best way possible. Totally.
The second part to this question
okay.
is, if this situation was to be different and someone who you're in a relationship with tells you that they don't like your friend and want you to stop being friends with them, how do you handle that?
Nah, it's not happening. It's not happening. Listen, at, again, this stage and age in my life, I make sure that it's very clear to anyone who chooses to get involved with me, I don't do any type of control. I don't do any type of control. I accept suggestions, recommendations, questions, comments, and concerns. I'm not going to be in a relationship with a dictator. There's a lot of them out there. I can't be in a relationship with a dictator. If you have an issue with my friend, I'm interested in hearing what your issue is. If it's a legitimate issue And I agree that it's an issue. I have no problem having a conversation with my friend about like, hey, I just want to let you know, I understand you guys may not click that well, but my partner, my husband, my boyfriend takes issue with you because you may have said some things that rubbed him the wrong way. And if you're like, well, your man and your boyfriend needs to grow a set of fucking balls and stop being so damn sensitive. And I'm like, okay, I feel that. He can be sensitive sometimes. Or, you know, my goal is that even if you guys don't like each other, you're not each other's cup of tea. Like we said earlier.
Still respect each other.
It's impossible to please everybody. Sometimes people are just not compatible. My ask is that if we're all in the same place, in the same space, that we can all be respectful of one another. If we can accomplish that, then
That's
I'm
a win.
cool. But if my man steps to me and legitimately tells me you can't be friends with her because I have an issue with her, then I'm going to be like, nigga, 19 years of friendship. You knew. I don't care if I've been with you for 10 years. You're still new in the spectrum. You want me to throw away a 19-year friendship. Like, I get it. You know, if she's being an asshole, we've been friends long enough to where I can let her know she's been an asshole and check her, not like tell her what to do, but be like, damn, that was
Make
fucked
her
up.
aware.
You know, like, come on, friend. Come on.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on. Like, 9 times out of 10, these romantic relationships, they be new. And y'all be out here throwing out solidified friendships over new people that might be temporary in your lives. And friendships can be temporary too. People could be friends for 20 years and the next thing you know, they're not friends anymore. You never know. But the point is like, if people got issues, let them be adults and handle their issues. You don't got to fight everybody's battles for them. And by me disassociating myself with a friend because you got a problem, that is, in a sense, me trying to fight your battle.
Right.
That's you trying to use me as a tool to fight your battle. Be a grown man and use your own tools and fight your battles yourself. Make me aware of the issue, but don't try to use me as a tool in your whole scheme of things. That's some pussy shit.
And even with kind of like jumping off of what the things that we talked about last episode, I think that we internally all have that clock, ethical clock of what is right and what is wrong. So sometimes time means nothing either. So you could be friends with someone for 19 years and be in a relationship for 9 years, but you internally know whether or not your friend is doing something that is wrong. So, because I've lost friendships that went far past my relationships, and it was not because I was choosing sides, but because I very much saw that my friend wasn't behaving the way that I would behave as a friend. And when I call you out on it and I tell you, listen, the way that you're doing this and this and that is not okay, and I would appreciate it if moving forward we handled it differently.
But now it's not so much focus on the issue that they have with your partner. It's more of a one-on-one issue
exactly,
now.
Yes, I
agree.
agree.
So if you choose not to be friends, it's not because your partner told you not to.
Because of
now
something
we
that,
one-on-one
exactly,
have
it's
a
because
problem.
something that now I have addressed with you, you're not taking that into consideration, and you're kind of like overshooting it. Like, I don't give a fuck.
You want to act like you don't give a fuck?
Exactly.
Then we can all not give a fuck.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So you have to be mindful of all those different things.
And I just want to say for the record, you're very patient, and I've watched you navigate some difficult friendships, and some that have come, some that have gone, this, that, and the third. And sometimes I feel like a simple apology
is enough.
Or a person just admitting that they're wrong or just changing the way they move forward can be enough to retain the friendship. But sometimes people just get so caught up in their thoughts and emotions that they can't put that shit aside and just turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, because
like,
it doesn't have to
people be acting like it hurts to say I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like an ends all type of situation. Like, I'm very much the person where I will bring to you what it is that I feel may have been handled wrong or how it made me feel. And I won't like just be like, oh, that's it, I'm done. It takes a significant thing to happen for me to be like, oh, that's it, I'm done. If I bring that to you and you are cognizant and accountable, then I'm not gonna, we're human. We're human. Not everyone is fucking perfect.
I cannot stand you.
Why?
Because I was just going to bring up a topic about people being human.
Good. Perfect segue.
Yo, so I went to an event, and this wasn't in my notes, but for some reason this popped up, because what I'm thinking in my head while we're talking about this is just treating others the way we want to be treated.
Yeah.
That's a really good baseline of knowing and understanding if you're being
That
a
should be
complete
the foundation.
fucking asshole.
Right.
Okay? Just treating people the way you want to be treated. If someone's complaining about the way you're treating them, just take a moment to say to yourself, like, wow, if I was on the other side of this, how would I feel?
Right.
Like, that's a simple way to know if you're being a wrong asshole. Okay? But you have to be really honest with yourself in order for this technique to work.
But that's the thing. Most people aren't honest with themselves.
And that is a big problem. All right. So this is so fucking stupid and petty, but I really want to complain about how people are becoming less and less human. I don't know if it's social media. I don't know what the fuck is going on in the world. But I was at an event last night and I stubbed my toe so fucking hard on a door. I mean, so hard that I thought my damn toe fell off. Okay. Or that I broke my toe. But I just kind of shook it off and thought I was maybe being a big baby, because I was like, damn, that hurt. But I just walked it off, started feeling a little bit better. But once I got back in the establishment, I told someone, like, man, I stubbed my toe really hard. And when I looked down, my foot was fucking bleeding, bro. Like, there was blood all in my shoe.
Oh,
disgusting.
my God.
Disgusting. So I'm like, oh my gosh, let me ask someone for a Band-Aid. Let me go to the bathroom and handle this, you know? Which, by the way, when people are bleeding, like, that's a hazard to everyone else, too. Like, I take that very seriously. So I'm like, I asked the people at the door for a Band-Aid. They're like, oh, I don't know. I don't work here. I'm just handling the door. Ask the people in the kitchen. I go to the people in the kitchen. The lady was so busy pouring drinks that she was like, 1 second. And I was like, no.
I'm sorry.
I'm bleeding.
You were about to say the baby serving
The baby serving drinks. I've been stumbling over my words this whole episode. But I'm like, excuse me, I need a Band-Aid because I'm bleeding. No one's drink comes before me bleeding right now. And no, I'm not going to sit here and just let you, hold on, sweetie. I'm not waiting for a drink. I need a fucking Band-Aid, okay? And I'm not just thinking about myself. I'm thinking about everyone around me. Like, I'm bleeding all over the place, right? So they're going to tell me, I don't know, they're shrugging their shoulders, they don't have a Band-Aid. I want to be like, you motherfuckers are full of shit. If one of you employees hurt yourselves right now, you mean to tell me that you motherfuckers want to search up and down for the first aid kit? But because I'm a patron asking you for a Band-Aid, all of a sudden, my bleeding foot doesn't matter. You fucking assholes.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what I did. I told my peoples, like, listen, I can't be here bleeding like this. I'm going to have to dip. We're downtown. CVS closed at fucking 6 o'clock for some reason. Everything around us is closed. So I'm walking to my car and I'm like, hopefully I see an establishment on the way to the car and I will have to just suck up my pride and ask them for a fucking Band-Aid. I went to a pizza place that was ran by Chinese people. And I just want to say there's nothing wrong with Chinese people running a pizza place. But I just want to say that it had Chinese food vibes, but it was a fucking pizza place.
I want pizza now.
And I'm like, this is interesting. I want to come back here now. Right? Their pizza's probably good as fuck, too.
Their pizza's probably bomb.com.
But I was like, wow, this is a hell of a fusion. And I was like, listen, guys, I don't care if I have to buy an egg roll or have to buy something, but I really need a Band-Aid.
An egg roll pizza.
Because they have a fucking sign on the window that says restrooms are for customers only.
So are Band-Aids.
I already assumed that it was going to be a problem. I'm like, my foot's bleeding. I really need a Band-Aid. So they give me the Band-Aid. I respected the sign that restrooms are for customers only. So I didn't even think to put the Band-Aid on my foot there. I just took the Band-Aid and I shishini and went about my business.
Oh my God.
That's legitimate Chinese. Shishini is thank you. I'm just showing the world I know my shit. Shishini. You know what I'm saying? So then I'm walking down the street still with a bloody foot. I go back to the establishment. This place is on the 4th floor. I get there. Nigga, there's a line long as fuck just to get on the elevator.
You don't have to wait on the line. Oh, to get on the elevator.
To get on the elevator.
Got it.
And these young bucks, I'm going to chalk it up to you being young, ignorant motherfuckers, started making jokes on the elevator about how they're hoping that we get to the 4th floor because I feel like these people expected me not to get on the elevator and catch the next one. But my foot's fucking bleeding and the restroom's on the 4th floor. So they're making these jokes about, oh man, I don't know, this is an old building. Hopefully we make him, and I just wanted to be like, everybody shut the fuck up. My foot's bleeding, and I don't give a fuck if I'm 300 fucking pounds. But my foot's bleeding, and you guys are just trying to get to a party. So I don't give a fuck what you have to say. I was so irritated, but I didn't say anything because I'm learning. It's not worth popping off all the time. So I go to the bathroom and I put the fucking Band-Aid on my foot, and I'm like, great, I can go back and party now. But the guy who was at the door that told me there's what do you want me to do? I'm just a door person. While I was walking with my bloody foot, I'm like, you know what? What if this was your daughter? And your daughter came home and told you I was at this place, my foot was bleeding, and the guy at the door told me, what do you want me to do? I just worked the door. You would be pissed with that motherfucker, and you'd want to kick his ass.
Facts.
What if that was your girlfriend? What if that was your sister? What if that was your wife? Well, guess what? I'm someone's daughter. I'm someone's sister.
I was someone's wife.
I might be someone's girlfriend. I don't know. It's complicated. But the point is like, we need to become human again. And if a person's bleeding, everyone needs to stop what they're fucking doing and look for a fucking Band-Aid.
Or just be human in general. The blood doesn't even have to be involved.
Find me that's what I just hate. That no one made me a priority in that moment. And that's, society failed me yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like society has been failing us for a really long time.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
It has. And I think that we hear about these stories about how we've dehumanized ourselves. But it was in this moment that I'm like, this is where we've come. We used to let people hitchhike. And now you can't even find
Yeah. No, I get it. I understand.
I'm going to hold myself accountable to be more human.
I understand that a lot of people have become a little bit dehumanized because of the fact that they felt that society has made them that way. We've had to be tougher. We've had to be stronger. We've had to be more, stoic in the, like, you can't let people see how you feel because they're going to hold it against you. You can't be vulnerable. You can't be this. But at the same time, like, we've done ourselves an injustice by not being human-like.
And those of you who are afraid of robots taking over our jobs, you are the robot. You are the robot.
Yeah.
When you say, I just work the door, I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You've become the robot.
Yeah, I agree.
Taking over our jobs.
Yeah.
You can't even be human enough to enjoy, like, all the things you're worried about robots taking over. You're becoming the robot because we have no emotions. We have no values. We don't fucking care about quality time with our loved ones, with our kids anymore. We don't, let's be real. There's people that come home and they don't pay their kids any fucking attention.
No, I get it.
They don't pay their spouse any fucking attention. All these things you're worried about, systematic societies taking over or whatever.
You're already there.
You're not even appreciating the shit that's in front of you.
I agree.
So just be a fucking human being is all I'm saying.
Be a human, not a robot.
That's the title of this podcast.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Come On, Bob. We've said Bob so many times.
I want to say, can we do Be a Human, Not a Robot?
Sure.
I like that.
All right.
And one last rant, and I'm going to keep it light. Okay. Fast food cuties. When you see me pulling up and you think I'm cute and I think you're cute and we're having a moment, which it's not that deep, but it might happen sometimes. I know you think it's nice to give me extra fries or to upsize my drink for free or to do whatever you're trying to do to give me that kind gesture, but I'm asking you kindly to just stop. Everyone thinks that giving someone extra fries and upsizing their food and their drink for free is a good thing. But if someone's watching their diet, like myself, I kind of get mad when you give me extra fries because now I'm eating extra fries that I shouldn't be eating. And you created a fucked up situation.
No, Rome. You don't have to eat the extra fries that they gave you.
I know I don't have to, but they make my life a little more difficult. And now
Be a human, not a robot.
And I don't like you anymore.
Listen, you do not have to eat the extra fries that they gave you.
That's true.
Just because they gave it
and
to you.
And I tell myself
the fact that they were like, oh my God, I'm going, because they're not thinking you're on a diet. They don't know that shit. They're like, you know what? Shorty's cute. I'm going to throw in these extra fries.
And I know they thought that, which is why I'm not mad at them personally.
You just said I no longer like you.
I'm not mad at you personally. And I'm sorry that I said that. I'm woman enough to apologize. I was wrong because I wouldn't want anyone to treat me that way.
You're such a human, not a robot.
But I just want you to be like, hey, want some extra fries? Wink, wink. Like, just if you could check with me first or whatever. Just know that when you're giving me extra fries or extra shake, it's like, fuck.
Ooh, I like extra shake.
You know, it's like, damn. You're making me feel a bad feeling when you do that to me because I have no self-control when it comes to fries.
You do. You're just letting society get the best.
I really don't have self-control when it comes to French fries.
By the way, do you want to get some French fries after this?
I already thought out some chicken, so
Okay.
maybe I'll make chicken fries. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Me too, and I have to pee.
All right. I want to thank those of you who are listening. If you enjoy our show, please share it with a friend, a family member, a coworker, whatever. We just try to lighten up the mood. I feel like we do a really good job about we do a really good job of discussing difficult, real topics, but putting a fun twist and spin on them. And I think that everyone can benefit from this type of talk.
I agree. And I definitely, truly appreciate when people hit me up and talk about scenarios that they have found themselves in that allow our topics to kind of familiarize themselves with that. Like they see the relativity.
Familiarity.
That's what I was trying to say.
Got you.
And I definitely appreciate when people...
It's relatable.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate when people come up to me and say, hey, you guys know what you should talk about? Or you know what I've always wanted to question or whatever. I truly enjoy those moments because not only does it give me topics to put on my notes, but it also allows me to understand what our listeners want to hear. And we can feed off of that.
And while we look at the numbers, it's just nice to know that you're listening.
Yes.
We put a lot of work, time, and attention in this. So when you let me know that you've listened, it just warms my heart. It means so much to me because all this time we put into podcasting, creating content, not just editing videos, but I'm educating myself on how to create these things and how to edit. And like, it makes me feel like it's so worth it. And I'm glad to know that the hard work isn't going unnoticed. So keep it coming, folks.
Yeah. And I definitely want to give you props before we leave because even though we're very content driven and like what we do as far as like giving you clips and all that, Rome definitely takes the lead when it comes to like taking it upon herself to learning new ways of putting things together and, you know, compacting these videos in a way where our vision, our view is set into place. So I want to give you props on that because even though with me, you may be like, oh, we should do this. And I'm really quick to just do exactly what is being said. You actually take the time to like digest how it should be done. So props to you for that.
Thanks. And thanks for just rolling with the ideas and the vision too. And you bring a lot of great ideas to the table. And I want to bring both of our ideas to life and to continue doing that and focusing more on the skills and what we bring to the table and just bouncing those things off of each other. So I really appreciate your partnership. And I look forward to all the new fresh shit that we're bringing to the table.
Yeah. And definitely so much more to come. Like I say that every episode, but you guys, it's only bigger and better from here.
Absolutely. All right. Enjoy whatever the fuck you got going on. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.